a glass of lemonade in the shade. She's a country song cranking on the radio, laid back and soaking up praise. She's the memory that you just can't forget, the melody that's stuck in your head. It goes ooh, 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 my baby summertime. Ooh, 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 my baby summertime. Yeah, girl. If it's meant to be, it'll be, it'll be. So baby, just let it be. I want you round with me, see where this thing goes. If it's meant to be, it'll be, baby, just let it be. I want you round with me, see where this thing goes. If it's meant to be, it'll be, baby, if it's meant to be.
There he is. There is the man of the hour, Derek Lersch.
Hey, Jamie, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Doing very well. Glad to be here with you.
Absolutely. Where are you coming to us from, Derek?
I am actually I'm on vacation right now, so we're a little outside of Boston in Scituate, Massachusetts, my hometown.
Beautiful, beautiful, Derek. You know,
Yeah,
and I have to tell you, I mean, my baby's, summertime. Out since Friday, July 2nd.
Yeah.
Great catchy single, man. Perfect for the
Thank
summer,
you.
for where you are.
Yeah.
And I mean, just check this out real quick for my audience because it's catchy as hell, man. It just goes with the beers, it goes with the beach. Perfect, man.
Yeah, it's a fun song.
Came out really good, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to release something fun for summertime. This is the first single off my upcoming EP that's coming out in the fall. So really wanted to kick it off with this fun summertime song. So I was really happy with how it came out for sure.
Absolutely. Comes out around November, right?
Yeah. We're looking at a few different dates, November 19th, somewhere around there. So hopefully we'll have it out. It'll be a 6-song EP. So I'm excited to share that with everybody for sure.
Totally, Derek. So let's start with the song and work backwards from there. I mean, your friend Chuck Reedy originally penned the lyrics to this song.
Yep.
Your whole career, you've been a songwriter.
Yep.
You've done your own stuff. So this is kind of like the first time that you release a song that you didn't write, right?
Yeah, it was the first time, and I got to say it was different. It was weird a little bit. But it was funny because he sent me the song and he said, "Hey, I've got this song. I need somebody to sing on it." And I said, "Okay, yeah, send it to me." And I loved it. It was super catchy, and that's what I loved. I mean, when I write, that's what I try and write, is something catchy like that everybody can kind of sing along to. And it was kind of missing from my arsenal of songs. I didn't have something like that. And so when he presented it to me, I said, "You okay if I release this? Like this, I really like this." And he was all for it, and very glad he gave me that song for sure.
Yeah, definitely. What is the relationship like, Derek, with a song like this? And the reason why I ask is, I know you lived in Nashville. We're coming to you from Nashville, a songwriter's town. And people treat their songs like babies, those songwriting sessions. So when they're out, it's like their baby's out. So just out of curiosity, like how do you feel about it? Like when it doesn't come from your own, like from your own writing?
It was different. It was definitely a different feeling. And I felt that I had to do justice by him, with it as well. And we worked together on the track and everything and kind of worked hand in hand. At the end of the day, he said, "Hey, you're the one singing this song." So I put my own flavor into it, for sure. But it came out really cool. It was different though. Like you said, the songs are your babies. And sometimes, when it's not your song, it was just like, I felt like almost more pressure to deliver even more because I wanted to do right by him. So I thought it came out well, and like I said, we had a good time making it for sure.
Love it. You can tell, and you're always having a good time, especially on stage. You're such a great live performer, Derek, and
Thank you.
You've played at Raymond James Stadium, the home of the Bucks. You've played at Amalie Arena, the home of the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Lightning. So you've played some big stages with people like Rodney Atkins, Jay Allen. So I guess the question is, Derek, what have you learned from performing with people like Rodney or Jay that you've incorporated into your live presence?
Yeah, those were amazing experiences, and I was so lucky enough to actually spend a lot of time with them. Most of the time when you play big shows with artists like that, some artists, they don't want to, be bothered. Both of those guys gave me such great advice on everything. I mean, just from performing to singing techniques and everything like that. So it was really the professionalism that I walked away, and how it didn't matter what size the show was or whatever, they were giving it their all, and watching their preparation. It was definitely something I walked away with going, wow, okay, that's how the pros do it, and so it made me elevate the band and myself to a certain standard, that we needed to be at. So it was incredible and valuable lessons learned, and I can't thank those guys enough for really taking the time and really having deep conversations, not surface level conversations. It was very deep and like meaningful conversations. So really meant a lot to me, for them to do that. It was great learning experience. Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful, Derek, when you realize that the pros like Bruce Springsteen, or we've been around some people, they're the ones that prepare the most.
Yeah.
Even though they're already it's pretty humbling.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, because you do, like, you would think after, the thousands and thousands of shows that they've played, it would just be another night. And it is, but they have that certain level of expectations of what they have to do. And they know going into it, this is how it's going to go. And the preparation is just incredible.
Exactly, Derek. Well said. Let me ask you a little bit about your early life, because you have a great story. I mean, you were born in Massachusetts, where you are right now. But I mean, really, you grew up in Florida. Listening to all kinds of stuff: Tom Petty, Eagles, Michael Jackson, Garth Brooks. Do you come from a musical family first, Derek?
I don't. So that's the funniest thing. Not a lot of family members play music at all. Actually, none of them do. They all love music, though. My dad has a great passion for music. And so I always grew up around music, but nobody really played anything. We were more of the athletic family, believe it or not. And so no, nobody played, but I gravitated towards it. It was always just something I loved to do. It was like, if there was a spotlight, that's where I wanted to be. I was singing, I was doing whatever I could do. So really in high school, I loved to sing, and my parents said, well, you need to learn an instrument. If you want to sing, you gotta put in the hours. So learned how to play the piano first, and kind of learned guitar from there. And it became something that I loved to do. And it was very clear, that, okay, this is what I want to do. I have fun doing this. And it's crazy to see the growth, I mean, and that's what my family, being up here, we've got all my dad's side of the families all together. And, I've been playing them new music off, the record coming up, and they're just like, oh my gosh, like to see where you've come. Cause my dad has videos of me back in high school playing, and it's like, oh, wow, thank you for not crushing my dreams and telling me, hey, work at it. And
right.
Here we are. So it makes you feel good, for sure.
Definitely a lot to unpack there, Derek. But okay, so what was a moment like before that, before Lakewood Ranch? Take us before Lakewood Ranch. When you're like, you're a toddler, maybe you see something. Did you see a Steven Tyler Aerosmith concert? Did you see something? Did you see a moment or a concert or a TV show that made you say, man, I want to make people feel that they're making me feel?
Yeah, it was funny, and I've told this story at shows before. I don't know that it's out there, but growing up in Massachusetts, Aerosmith and Steven Tyler and those guys lived the next town over from where I'm at right now. And so growing up, obviously I was only here till I was 3, but you kind of knew of them. You saw them all around all the time. And I've been to countless Aerosmith shows, and Aerosmith's what I kind of grew up on. They're my biggest influence to this day. And we were in the Gap one day with my mom, and Steven Tyler walks in, and I was probably 2.5, 3, just talking, like I could, and I knew the words to I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, every single word. And so she walks up to him and she says, oh, Steven, this is my son, Derek, and she goes, Derek, what's your favorite song? And I just break into I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. I could stay awake, just start singing the whole thing in the middle of the Gap. And, he's blown away. And, he was just like, yeah, you got to keep dreaming on, man. You got to keep doing it. So it's funny that little instance, and then you fast forward throughout life. And like I said, it was just always something that I love to do. Now, nobody did it in my family, so it was a little bit of an odd thing. Like, I don't know that I really felt that I could do it till I got into high school and I started to play. And then, you start to get an arsenal of songs. And then I remember finally my dad, saw me play at this like little wedding. I pulled out a guitar and started playing, and he said, okay, I think it's time you start playing some shows. So it was kind of that push that you needed to, from there, it was like, okay, now I know what I need to do, and just go get it. So it was kind of those moments, I had multiple moments in my life from a young age. It was something that I loved to do. And then as I went on and, kind of figured out how I could do that, it was really cool. And I'm glad I chose the path I did, because it is a definitely fulfilling dream, to follow for sure.
Man, that's a great story. That will definitely do it. When your movie is made in 50 years from now, that's going to be an epic scene. That's for sure.
I know. Yep. I haven't seen Steven in a long time, but hopefully I'll run into him here sometime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know if still is, but a couple of years ago, he was here in Nashville.
Yeah.
Just doing that country album he was doing.
Yeah. I love that album too. Anything Steven Tyler, I was always a big fan of. So
I love it, Derek.
Yeah.
So speaking of Nashville, let me ask about this chapter for you, because it's interesting. You came to Nashville. You got a nice side hustle job in iHeart as well, like a corporate. Tell us a little bit about your year in Nashville, because obviously everyone just assumes that this is the next step and that this would have been the evolution for you.
Yeah, it's funny. You go through things in life that really change you and make you who you are, and they shape you. And that's what Nashville was for me. I went to school for music business at Full Sail University, and I was gung-ho. I was going to Nashville. That's where I have to be. And so 4 days after graduating, I was in Nashville. And I was just a young kid. I was 20.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't confident in who I was as an artist.
And the level here is like obscene. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, and that's the thing in Nashville, you have to really be prepared that everybody there is an incredible songwriter, singer. I mean, there's just the talent in Nashville is just unheard of. So you really have to be strong in your confidence, which I'm always a confident person, but I think there I was so unprepared, and I thought, well, I could, do this. And I'll never forget, I had a interview, and I'll leave his name out, but he was a label president, and we sat down, and I pull out my resume, and it says singer songwriter and music business, and he goes, well, what are these two things? And I said, well, in my opinion, that was industry experience, and all this great stuff. And he said, not in this town. You're either the music business or you're the artist. So we're going to talk for 5 more minutes. And at the end, I'm going to ask you again, do you want to be the artist or do you want to work in the industry? And I was so just not really sure of my music. I didn't think I was at the level that if I was seriously going to pitch to him myself as an artist, I wasn't there. So I quickly backed down and chose the industry side. And I look back at that, and I get mad at myself now, because it's like, oh my God, what I would give to have that meeting now where I've got my music and, at the level it's at. But really, it was such a good, valuable lesson for me, because I really think, I've always said I'll end up back in Nashville when the timing's right. And I believe that. But, after being there a year, and I didn't feel myself growing as an artist. I grew as a person. And, once things, I'm very family oriented, both me and my wife are, and I'll never forget. I flew home from Boston. I was actually visiting my grandparents, and I said to her, I came home, I said, this isn't home. I said, I don't feel that. I felt like I was going to another destination. I didn't feel like I was coming home. I said, so, you know what? I said, this isn't for us right now. We were so young. It was time to just go home. Yeah. And I'm glad I did it. I mean, honestly, as a musician, that changed my whole career right there, because you start to it changed the songs I was writing. It changed just everything. And I kind of realized, you know what, I can go do this at home, build it to the level I need to build it at. And then when I need to go back, I can go back. You know, I learned a lot being there. So Absolutely. It was a good life lesson for sure. And I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't change a thing, you know.
No,
sure.
It was great. It was great. Thank you for opening up and sharing that, right?
Because
I don't think many people have that. You know, they open and everyone says, you know, this is a 10-year town, they say, but it, you know, you don't have to. You don't have to, you know, you like, I think the path you took is very brave, and you'll be back and you'll be better than ever. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you. Yeah. And like I said, it's one of those things, you know, it's sometimes not for everybody at that time. And that's what it was. It was just like, okay, I just realized very quickly, it's like, I'm not ready for this. And I don't think I was mentally ready for it. It was just like, okay, I'm going to go home. I'm going to regroup and I'm going to build something, and I'll be back, you know, and I'll come back stronger.
You know, and you have certainly a supporter in us here in Music City. And whenever you play the Ryman and the Grand Ole Opry, you better tell that story, because it's a great one.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, I will for sure. It's a good story. I always love telling that one for sure.
Love it, Derek. And well, you know, you're being so good with your time. Let me just leave you with this. I mean, you are amazing in social media. I mean, and maybe this is part of the fact that you've had to build up remotely with the internet, but you're so good with your fans, with the live streams, with responding. Just talk to us about, you know, you and the internet and social media. You know, you've really mastered it with your fans.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you really do have to connect, especially in the last year. You know, it was like everything changed, obviously, with COVID. So you had to, you know, do a lot of live streams and find a way to connect with fans. And I think that's so crucial. I mean, I'm getting ready to release this EP. You know, we've got 2 more singles coming out here. The music video for My Baby Summertime comes out next Friday. So, you know, to get that, you really need to have a connection with people. And I think so many times as an artist, it's hard to do. I mean, it's not, social media is not an easy thing. You have to work at it. You know, but the reality is that's how you connect with people, and that makes the difference, and that makes people want to support you. So anybody that comments, you know, I always try and comment back, and I'm always trying to connect with people, because really that connection as an artist, you know, has an effect, and as on the fans, it's just, it makes them more willing to go support you in anything that you do. And that's the biggest thing for me, is just fan support. When somebody says, you know, hey, your song Forever and Always, though it was my wedding song, we're going to use that as our wedding song. Like, that's incredible. I mean, and as an artist, and, you know, somebody trying to make it, like, there's no better feeling than that. And I've always said to somebody, if that's your wedding song, please tell me, I'll come play it. Like, I'd love to come play it for you. You know, so it is really cool connecting with fans, you know, and you have to start that on social media, because it's kind of the world we're living in. And if you're not doing it, then you're missing out. So,
amen. Well, Derek Lersch, you have said it all for today.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you having me on. And I would love to be back on sometime.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Derek. Enjoy your vacations, and you know, My Baby Summertime out now, and stay tuned for your EP later this year. It's gonna be a hit. So
thank you. Thank you so much, Jamie. We'll see you later.
Take care.
See ya. Bye bye.